Send to you.
We're going. We know when we're going by. Good evening. I'm Steve Lothridge, the superintendent of Murray County Schools, and I'd like to welcome you tonight to our webcast describing our virtual option for school beginning the 2021 school year. First of all, let me say we're providing this for information tonight to you parents and guardians out there in helping you to help you provide better information for you to make decisions about the education of your child. Please realize that none of us are professional broadcasters. We may stumble, we may stutter, but we're going to do our best to provide you some information tonight to help you make your choice. This presentation is being done because of the results of our parent survey number 2, which is out there, and it ended today that expressed a consideration for a virtual option. Based upon that, we are offering a virtual option beginning next year. And tonight we want to lay out some basic guidelines in response to the need for a virtual option for your children. The guidelines laid out tonight will go along the lines of letting you know that there'll be some technology requirements, enrollment requirements, and program requirements. I know there are many questions that you may have out there regardless of what's going on with the COVID-19 and the coronavirus. We do have a live chat that is you can stream in and ask questions. We'll do our best to provide you the answers to those questions. And if there's any that we cannot answer, please feel free to email or contact those, and we'll provide contact information later. This virtual option is being offered, as I say, it is just an option. Remember, we will also be offering face-to-face instruction as well. And we strongly believe that face-to-face instruction for K through 12 students is by far the best. However, given your individual circumstance, you may prefer a virtual option for this next year. And let me just quickly go over with our face-to-face instruction. It won't be face-to-face as normal. We will have enhanced safety measures that we will offer. Some of these safety measures will include hand sanitizer stations throughout our school. We'll be encouraging masks for students. Adults will wear masks outside of their individual classroom and space inside the classroom when social distancing is not possible, such as in small group instruction. We're going to encourage social distancing when we can, but please remember, in providing a face-to-face option, social distancing will not be available at all times. We will also stress the need of hygiene and frequent hand washing. Close off water fountains. Students will bring water bottles. We'll have signage directing students what to do. We'll have increased cleaning and sanitation of our buildings and buses. We'll be eliminating all non-essential visitors and volunteers into the buildings. We will also provide safe spaces for sick students. Our bus drivers will wear masks. We'll have a modified open house orientation that we'll be providing information about that later. Guidance for virtual and face-to-face meetings. Guidance for safety for our front office, student drop-off and pickup, unloading of buses. Modifying school spaces. Protocols for students and adults who exhibit symptoms. Daily temperature checks for all adults. Random temperature checks for students. And no non-essential visitors or volunteers. These are just some of the options that we will be employing in our face-to-face model, and that could be face-to-face. It could also be a modified option. To remember, what we have out on our website now is something that has the green, yellow, and red, and those the moving between one is determined by our local health department. The CDC issued some guidelines just recently stressing that the importance of face-to-face instruction and how it can be done and how it is best for students. And we believe that. However, we still want to provide the virtual option as you make the decision and the choice of what is best for your students. We do have a team here, Barbie Kendrick, our Assistant Superintendent for Teaching and Learning, Spencer Gazaway, our Secondary Director of Curriculum, Kelly Rogers, Director of Elementary Curriculum, Paula Martin, Director of Student Services, Adrian Ellis, our Instructional Technology Specialist, and Jennifer Cuenca, our Migrant Education Specialist, who will help with our Spanish version. Please remember, we're not professional broadcasters. We're here tonight to provide you information, to help you make the choice and provide more information about a virtual option. All of this team is either manning the chat tonight and answering questions, or we'll be up here providing some more specific information. Right now, I'd like to turn it over to Kelly Rogers, who will come up here and provide more detailed information about Murray Virtual K through 5.
Good evening, parents. It's a joy to be with you tonight. Thank you for joining us. Parents, I will make one update. Jennifer Cuenca has worked really hard today to get our Spanish information ready to go. But there were some last minute edits that we had to make. And so that information will be pushed out in a recording for our Spanish speaking families tomorrow morning. We wanted to make sure that the information that went out to our Spanish families was completely aligned to the information that we are giving you tonight. So if you have friends in the Spanish speaking community, please inform them that those pieces of information will be ready tomorrow. First off, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the Murray virtual option to give you some general information to help you determine whether or not this is the correct option for your students as they return to school. First of all, we would like you to know that this option is 100% online curriculum that is aligned to our Georgia Standards of Excellence. Parents, this is very important because it's going to assure you that students who are enrolled in the Murray virtual option are receiving the same content as the students who are sitting in traditional face-to-face classrooms. This is also very important because if you choose to transition back into those regular classrooms at the semester break, then your child will be right in target with the students who are actually inside those traditional classrooms. So our curriculum will be aligned to our Georgia Standards of Excellence. We'll be supported by Murray County teachers. This is also very important to know. A student who's enrolled in the Murray virtual option will have Murray County teachers, and making sure that they are successful inside our platform, and parents that they will be enrolled as a Murray County student. We are keeping our students here. We're excited to have them as part of our Murray County family, and they will be enrolled as such. Murray County virtual students will complete all state required assessments, such as the Georgia milestones. They are not exempt from those assessments, and that's important to know as you think about the options for your children. Students are required to commit to a minimum of 1 semester. Parents, this is also very important. Please make sure that you understand as you begin to seriously consider a commitment to Murray Virtual. This is not an option that 2 weeks in you can say, you know, Kelly, this just isn't working out for us. We're going to go back to the traditional classroom. It's very important that you think long and hard about your commitment. 1 semester commitment is going to be required before returning to the the traditional classroom. However, parents, we understand circumstances change throughout the course of a school year. And so you will also have the option of opting in to the Murray virtual space at the beginning of the 2nd semester. We'll publish more information in the fall about how you can do that. We understand that health situations and circumstances at home may change. And so you also have the ability to come traditionally in this fall and then come to the Murray virtual space 2nd semester. Also, parents, please understand that because we understand your concern about the health and safety of your children, perhaps you have elderly parents at home, perhaps you have children with compromised immune systems, or you yourself are dealing with one of those compromising health issues. Because of those concerns and the concerns that you have about sending your children back into a traditional setting, students who are enrolled in Murray Virtual will not be able to participate in athletics or extracurricular activities. This is very important. Parents, in these 2 environments, we cannot guarantee social distancing and those enhanced safety measures. So it's really important to understand that we have aligned this to your concerns. We want to make sure that your student is as safe as possible and that you feel confident in that. So students will not be able to participate in those things. And then as Mr. Lothridge talked to you in his introduction, I'm going to share with you technology requirements, enrollment processes, program and platform overviews, and deadlines and next steps. So parents, if you have a pencil handy, you might want to jot some of this down. If not, please know that all of this will be posted once we are completed, so you can go back and refer to the presentation should you have missed any of the information. Okay, technology requirements. Very important, parents, as you begin to consider the Murray virtual option. Internet-ready devices are very, very important. And there's a wide variety of them. The only thing that we would tell you is that cell phones will not support this type of learning that's going to be required for Murray Virtual. There are a lot of tasks and a lot of rigorous activities that are just very difficult to do on a cell phone. So if the only thing you have is a cell phone, you're going to need to look at alternate devices. So things such as a laptop, a desktop computer, a tablet, even a Chromebook will work. Any of those devices, but again, parents, we would let you know that the cell phone is not going to be the device to help support this type of learning. So internet-ready device, reliable broadband internet connections are also going to be very critical. And parents, I will make the distinction here that that does not include a hotspot. That there are times that you have internet access, but access that supports instruction are very different. So we want to make sure that you have really stable, really reliable internet connections in your home so that your students have a great device and they have the ability to stay online for their learning. There's going to be a technology check-in that you will complete later in August that ensures that your device and your connectivity will support your students enrolled in Murray Virtual. This is very important as well. It will help you not be so frustrated in this platform when your device isn't working and your technology goes down. You want this as seamless as possible for your children. So that's why we're doing the technology check-in. And then lastly, each student enrolled will need to provide their own device. Now, parents, this is also very important to understand because of the length of time a student might be spending inside that virtual classroom. A high school student is certainly going to be spending more time online than a kindergarten student. And so each student in your home that's enrolled in Murray Virtual will need their own device. So if you have a high school student, they'll need a device. If you have a kindergarten student, they will need their own device. This is also going to help make sure that they're not struggling to keep up because they're having to share a device. Very important. Internet-ready device, broadband connectivity, that technology check-in, and a device for each child in your home enrolled in Murray Virtual. Enrollment requirements. Parents, I know you're probably asking a lot of these questions. Kelly, how do I'm really interested, but what are my steps to actually enroll a student in Murray Virtual? So this is another piece of information that you might want to jot down as we're going along. K-12 students are eligible for enrollment in Murray Virtual. Parents of pre-K students, please understand that this is not an option for you. This is an option that we are providing for our K-12 students only. Parents and guardians, I know you are online with us tonight, and we thank you for your commitment. By the simple fact that you are online shows that you are committed to learning more about this process, but your commitment to your students who are enrolled in Murray Virtual will be equally as important because we want you to understand that your students who are in Murray Virtual will have a teacher. That teacher will be giving the primary instruction, but you have a critical part to play. For instance, we're going to ask that you make sure that you're supporting your student to make sure that they are in attendance when it's required. They're logging in every day, that they're communicating effectively with their teacher, that they're actually participating in those tasks and those projects that are part of their curriculum, and that they're completing all of their required coursework. Parents, what we don't want to happen is for your children to get behind because you've chosen this option. But we're going to need your strong partnership to make sure that that doesn't happen. We're going to do our part, and the parents are going to do their part to provide that safety net for children. So very important, parents, that you understand that this is not an option where you can just set them on the computer and go about your business, especially if you have early learners like kindergarten, first and second graders. They're going to need your support to make sure that they're successful. A date that you might want to jot down, parents, the application process. Now, there's several steps that are going to be important for you before you are fully registered. But the first step is to complete the application. That will be pushed out tonight after we conclude our second session. But that first application will be due to us by Wednesday, August the 5th. It's a Google form. As soon as you complete it, it gives the information to us. You don't have to mail it. You don't have to fax it. You don't have to email it. All we're asking you to do is complete it. You'll see things like who your children are, and this is very important, parents. For every child you're enrolling in Murray Virtual, you will need a new form for each one of them. So once you finish the first one, if you have another student, complete it again for them. But that will come automatically to us. It will help us to figure out how many students we have who are a little more interested in this process. So step one, the application. Then parents, we're going to post a virtual overview of the whole ins and outs of Murray Virtual as an orientation, and it will be posted on our website on Wednesday, August the 12th. Okay, so here's the process. You said, I'm really interested in this. I think this will work for my family. You fill out the application. Then August 12th rolls around. You say, you know what, I need a little more information. So I'm going to log in and I'm going to watch the orientation. After you've done that, parents, then there is a contract and a final commitment form that you will be asked to complete, and that is due to us by August 14th. Again, it's a very simple form. You fill it out, you submit it, and you say, Maury County Schools, my children are committed to the Maury Virtual. That deadline is August the 14th. And then once you've done all those things, parents, your children are enrolled in Maury Virtual. And at that time, then there will be a technology check-in the week of August the 24th through the 27th to make sure that your device and your connectivity will support the learning. Okay, so you've got your enrollment, you've got your technology. Now let's talk about the platform and the program. Very important, parents, especially for kindergarten, our early learners. We need you to understand that what your children will experience in the fall is not the same as what they experienced in the spring. These are not just extended learning activities such as the choice boards that we did. This is new instruction. Your children will be learning new content. It will require time on the computer, although that will vary according to the age of your child. This is not, we're going to sit your student in front of a computer for 8 hours a day either, but it is going to be different. They're going to be learning new instruction, new content. They'll be engaged in grade level content for this year. So please be mindful of that. It's not going to be a choice board where they're just choosing activities. It will be really solid, rigorous instruction. Parents, again, I mentioned this previously, the curriculum will be aligned to our Georgia Standards of Excellence. Everything your children do inside Maury Virtual, they will also be receiving inside that regular classroom. So when the first semester is over and you go, you know what, Kelly, this just really didn't work for my family. My kids are excited. Everything seems to be calmer in my family. I'd really like them to walk back into that traditional classroom, then they're ready to go. Maury County teachers will be assigned to the students inside the Maury Virtual space. Very important to know. As Mr. Lothridge mentioned, this is an instructional model option for parents for this school year only. As we think about the situation that we're in and the need that you have to feel a little more safe and secure about your children, then Maury Virtual was the option that we felt very excited about to give to you. And then for our K-5 families, the specifics of the learning platform will be presented during the orientation. Parents, we want you to know that we're still looking at different providers, different options for how that content will be delivered. We're looking for the best option for your child. And currently we haven't decided all of those little last minute pieces, but those are very quickly becoming firmed up, and we'll share more of that with you as soon as we can. But again, all of these things will be addressed again during that orientation. All right, so you've got your pencils out still, so let's talk about deadlines and next steps. Application deadline, Wednesday, August the 5th. Remember, it's only one form that you're required to submit at this time. August 5th at midnight. That will give us an opportunity to make sure that we know exactly how many students are interested. Once you do that, you say, okay, it's almost like an intent letter. I intend to pursue this further. Then that virtual orientation will be posted on August the 12th. You'll log in, you'll watch that, you'll hear a little bit more in depth about the responsibilities, the platforms, all of those things will your responsibility as parents. If you are still feeling very confident in this choice, then we would ask you to make sure, excuse me, I'm going to go back just a second. We're going to ask that you commit to one semester. And by August 14th, that is your deadline for commitment. There's a contract that will be posted after the virtual orientation. Again, it's very simple. You just fill it out and you let us know, Kelly, we're committed to one semester. By filling out that contract, you are enrolled in Maury Virtual. You'll complete the technology check-in. And parents, your students in Maury Virtual will attend class the same start date as everybody else, and that will be September the 8th. We cannot wait for September 8th to roll around. welcoming our students back into Maury County Schools in whatever form that may be. And then lastly, parents, we're getting close to winding up. I've noticed a lot of activity in the chat room, but if you have additional questions and concerns, please know that our team, our teaching and learning team, Mr. Lothridge, all of the educators here at the central office are more than willing to answer any questions that you may have. So we have added our contact information for you. Ms. Kendrick's information, Mr. Gazaway, myself, Paula, Jennifer Cuenca, for our Spanish-speaking families. You can email her directly. And then we've also given you a phone number. This is a direct line into the teaching and learning department. And we will make sure that we get back to you with as complete an answer as possible. The other thing, parents, that we're going to do is all of these questions have been fielded tonight in the chat and questions that you may have. As you begin to ponder on this a little bit more, we're going to collect those and put them on a frequently asked questions page on our website. And that will be updated frequently so that at any point in time prior to that deadline date of August 14th, you have questions, please do not hesitate to ask. We want to make sure that as you as a parent make a very important decision for your children, you feel confident and comfortable in the decisions that you have made. So parents of K-5 students, this concludes my portion of the presentation tonight. I believe that we still have a few minutes left that we're going to leave the live chat feature open. So please continue to interact with our moderators. Barbie's back there, Adrian, Paul is back there, Dr. Locke is back there, and several others who are there to answer any question that you may have. So thank you again, parents, for a few minutes of your time. If you have students, this presentation was for our K-5 families. If you have a student who's a 6th through 12th grader and that you are in the same family, I encourage you to log back on at 7. The information will be very similar, but very different for our older students. And you'll want to hear from Mr. Gazaway specifically. And you will also want to have an opportunity to ask your questions specific for those learners. So thank you again, parents. We are excited to get this school year started. I know you have lots of questions that remain, but hopefully tonight we've cleared up a very important question that you may have when it comes to deciding. The live chat will end in about 15 minutes. 6:45, we will shut this broadcast down and we will get ready to transition to our 612. So have a great night, Maury County parents, guardians, board members, teachers, whoever you are that's joining us tonight. It's been fun to be with you tonight, and we look forward to serving your kids September the 8th. Thank you.